Hey everyone. So I am going to answer an email that is very close to my heart, actually, because I have some experience with this in a little different kind of way. Um, and I think it applies to a lot of people's situations. So I thought I'd answer it more publicly so it can help other people besides the gal who wrote it to me, whose name is Anna. She said, "Dear Suzanne, after relocating to the Midwest, following your advice during the pandemic in 2021," which I don't remember the advice that I gave, but that's great. I'm sure I did suggest people go to the Midwest because that's where I live. And the affordability factor is fabulous for raising a family. My family and I have settled into a safe and affordable life in a suburban area. However, an opportunity has arisen for my husband to take on a higher level position in a big city. And then she names where the names where the state is, and you kind of have to. Well, anyway, it doesn't matter. While the salary is enticing, the higher cost of living and the potential loss of my role as a stay-at-home mom pose significant challenges. We're torn between seizing this once in a lifetime opportunity for his career advancement and maintaining our current lifestyle. Selling our home and potentially being unable to afford a house in the new location adds to our dilemma. We are unsure if the trade-off is worth it in the long run. What would you do? Okay. So you asked me flat out what I would do. So I'm going to tell you up front that to me, this is a slam dunk. And you probably know what I would do. I'm actually surprised if you don't. But let me first say, before I even explain the nuance of this, that where you wrote seizing this once in a lifetime opportunity, I'm going to push back a little bit on that for this reason. I think that especially when you're young, it seems as though when opportunities come along, the idea is that if you don't grab it, you're screwed or you're never going to see one like it again. And I fully disagree. I vehemently disagree with that. I don't see life as, oh, wow, here it is. And if I grab it, my life's going to be fabulous. And if I go this other route, I'll never see something like that again. And I'm screwed. And this is the wrong path. That's just not the way I view the world at all. I think there are absolutely going to be opportunities that are going to come his way again later when the time is right. So you have to sort of know that and take faith in that. So that's point one. I just wanted to say that before I get into my whys. So would I leave the Midwest and go to a big city? I actually pretty much did the opposite once upon a time, and I did not have children or a home at the time. I was married before. Some people know that, some people don't. In my 20s, no kids, but that marriage ended in large part because of geography. We were living in a big city, and I was from the Midwest, ended up moving back here after being gone for 10 years. But during that time, it was just a shock beyond shock about how different that lifestyle is. And a lot of people are encouraged to just sort of go for the money, right? Or follow the career. And no matter where it takes you, which isn't always bad advice, but it's never couched with all the nuance and all the less obvious trade-offs that are going to come along with that choice. So let's just talk about the difference in the lifestyle between suburbia and big city. I mean, the time factor alone between commuting and crowds and fast-paced living is compared to a suburban, slower paced life. To me, there is no decision to be made there if you're in family mode. Now, if you're single and you don't have kids yet, I could certainly see, and I did live in the big city for a number of years. But you are now ensconced in staying at home. Your husband works. You moved to the Midwest. You bought a house. Everything's working, right? On paper, all's good. I mean, you didn't say anything is not good. So since number one, I don't buy that it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. So that's number one. Number two, understand that the trade-off is almost always not worth it when you factor in all the other variables. So, for example, you mentioned potentially not being able to buy a house. Well, you already bought a house. You moved here. You're set. Why would you go from owning a home to not owning one? That doesn't really make any sense. And if in order to own one in the other city, you have to go back to work, well, then that changes the whole reason why you have made the decisions that you made post pandemic about being there with your baby or your young child. So that's going to be out the door. So the trade off of the more money is going to be offset by these other aspects of your life that are going to, take over. And so the gain on the financial end is going to very often feel secondary to the other problems that are going to emerge as a result of that choice. And I don't think those conversations are had often at all when it comes to deciding upon making financial moves, especially when you're talking about moving up or over or well up. So there's that. So you asked, we're unsure if the trade-off is worth it in the long run. What would you do? To me, it is absolutely not worth it, and I would stay put. Um, Stay put and be good. And when the time is right, another opportunity will come along that fits your choice of lifestyle better rather than uprooting everything for a few extra dollars, which I should also add doesn't always come out in the wash when you're comparing it from the Midwest to those big cities. Because, for example, a $150,000 salary in a big city is pretty much synonymous with an $80,000 salary in suburbia. So make sure that you're putting that on paper as well and understanding, especially with the tax rates and all the rest, are you really going to feel that in your wallet on a monthly basis? And very often the answer is no. So I hope that helps, Anna, answer your question, and anybody else who's in the same predicament in terms of thinking bigger about that and getting a broader perspective. So that's it. See you guys next time.